Hey there, and welcome into this edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Rachel Phillips, and well, I might be a little early for Halloween, but I'm right on time for this show, and so are you. Let's get into it. Coming up, women's basketball takes to the desert in 2026. The Cardinals lose a defensive giant. And ASU gymnastics showcases their diversity. All that and more coming up on Cronkite Sports Now. We've got some breaking news for you. The NCAA has just announced that the 2026 Women's Final Four will be held right here in Phoenix. In the coming years, Arizona will host a pair of college football semifinals, Super Bowl 57, and a men's NCAA basketball Final Four. The Cardinals have been dealt a devastating blow. All-Pro pass rusher Chandler Jones will have season-ending surgery on his right bicep. Jones suffered the injury in Sunday's win over the Jets.
He's a tremendous player, as we all know. Great person, great leader on this team. So it's not going to be easy, but we have some guys that have seen playing time this year and will continue to play and get more. So it'll be a rotation. Guys that we've seen out there, we'll just see out there more.
With the Cardinals set to spend the remainder of the season without Jones, players on all sides of the ball will need to step up, and that includes the running backs. QB Kyler Murray and running back Kenyon Drake are almost tied for yards on the ground. For the first 5 games, Jake has 314 and Murray 296. But when you look at rushing touchdowns, they are almost all coming from the guy with the number 1 on his back. Murray has 5 rushing TDs alone, while the running backs have just 3 between them.
We still haven't had one of our running backs to rush over 100 yards. That's an issue that we need to get corrected. We got to find a way to get Kenyon over 100. We got to find a way to get Chase over 100. It's great that K1 is doing it, but we got to make sure that we're providing that same level of explosion for our running backs as well.
Yesterday, the Cardinals added former Apollo High School standout and 9-year NFL veteran quarterback Prince Amukamara to the practice squad. 2 of Amukamara's sisters, Promise and Peace, played hoops for ASU. Speaking of ASU basketball, practice for both teams gets underway today. From the hard court to the football field, second-year QB Jaden Daniels says this year's offense is tailored to him. And that's all thanks to new offensive coordinator Zach Hill. Daniels led the Devils to an 8-5 season last year and was named Pac-12 Honorable Mention for Freshman Offensive Player of the Year. Coach Hill joins ASU after 4 seasons as the offensive coordinator and QB coach at Boise State. During his tenure, Hill's offense was ranked in the top 40 by Pro Football Focus. The pair are ready to roll this season.
He sits down with me, he asks me, what do I like? What do I want to run? And we just have different ways to get into it. But he caters the offense around me. He's asking me what I like and what I want to run. And he's going back to the film and seeing what best works for me and what best fits for me.
Daniels took to Twitter yesterday asking his followers to sign a petition that would allow family members of Pac-12 players to attend games this season. The Pac-12 is currently not allowing any fans at their games. ASU's athletic programs feature a variety of ethnicities, races, and cultures. Our reporter Abigail Shipley spoke with Kyra Leonard Baker, Maya Williams, Isabel Redmond, and Alina Miller, 4 ASU gymnasts who value the inclusiveness that the program offers.
Arizona State University prides itself on who they include, not who they exclude. And these 4 ASU gymnasts have found comfort and support in the diversity that their program provides.
A big part of why I chose ASU is because a lot of the higher people in the athletic department are Black or people of color.
Coming to ASU and seeing that there were multiple Black gymnasts on the team was a huge support, and just knowing that there were people who had been through what you'd been through and who had made it to college and made it to the top.
As conversations surrounding racial injustices in America continue to be brought to light, the athletic staff offers genuine support to the athletes.
They definitely have reached out to us, especially over the quarantine, checking out on us, making sure, always asking us, do you need anything? We're here to help.
I feel like we've created such a great relationship with them where, we could honestly just stroll into their office, any day of the week.
The gymnasts are not standing for change by themselves.
Head coach Jay Santos and ASU Athletic Director Ray Anderson are advocates for allowing student athletes at ASU to speak out.
We instantly made sure that we got our coaches, our administrators, most importantly, all of our students together and had real significant discussions about what was going on and encouraged them to have a voice.
We had a couple different, just kind of open team conversations, didn't really have an agenda. Just somebody share, and even asking them, like, what can we do to help them, or, just, and they just gave a lot, right? Like, check in and listen and try to learn and grow and learn your, kind of your spot in the whole chain here.
The push for change will continue to be made, as this is a movement, not a moment. Abigail Shipley, Cronkite News.
Future events surrounding diversity and inclusion at ASU can be found on campus.asu.edu/events. Arizona Coyotes recently signed forward Johan Larsson on a 2-year deal. Larsson scored a career-high 18 points with the Buffalo Sabres last season. The Swede will reunite with fellow countrymen Niklas Hjalmarsson and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, all in the hopes of making his first playoff appearance next season.
I think the potential of the team is very high, and I think they had a decent year last year, and I think they want to be better. And then I had a good talk and how they see me as a player and what kind of player I am and where I'm going to fit in and things like that. So that was kind of that feeling I had, and I went with that.
Next up, fantasy sports are huge across the world, and now our foundation is getting into the mix. Reporter Jake Fitzgerald has more about how an Indiana Pacers guard's charity is making a difference off the court.
Indiana Pacers guard Malcolm Brogdon was known for his play on the court. However, Brogdon's biggest achievement may be off the court.
The overall theme that me and my fellow NBA players share, it's about helping people, it's about delivering clean water, it's about impacting people's lives and kids' lives. In other parts of the world and here for the better.
Brogdon created the Brogdon Family Foundation. As a part of that foundation, he also created Hoops for Humanity. Hoops for Humanity is supported by NBA and WNBA players who assist the foundation getting access to clean water in Africa. By some estimates, more than 1 billion people lack access to clean water. Hoops for Humanity decided to mix things up and create something fun during quarantine. The foundation decided to create a fantasy football league, aptly known as the Water Bowl.
We wanted to find something that would be fun, that would allow fans, would give folks a chance to learn about the foundation and the things we're trying to do, and would also allow all of the players in Hoops for Humanity to participate.
Malcolm's University of Virginia alum, Ty Jerome, was more than happy to help a friend.
Malcolm asked me to if I wanted to be a part of Hoops for Humanity, and I said, of course, I'll be honored to be a part of it. But then he also asked us, do we want to participate in this fantasy football league? I've never played fantasy football, but I said, of course.
During the fantasy football draft, the players were able to participate with fans around the globe.
Seeing how many different people from different places joined. Like there was a guy from, I think he was on a draft, and it was 8 a.m. where he was, and it was like a nighttime draft. So he was in another country, and he was on the call joining, talking about how great of a cause this was.
Brogdon hopes to make a big impact for his foundation as well as for Hoops for Humanity. Jake Fitzgerald, Cronkite News.
This season, fans will manage their fantasy football teams for bragging rights, prizes, and to provide the gift of clean water. Fans will also have a chance to win the grand prize, a trip to the 2021 NBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. That's a wrap on Cronkite Sports Now, which means it's only 17 days until you can start unwrapping some Halloween candy. For all of us here, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.